All right, so I'm on my way to get up and get out of here, but I'm gonna tell y'all every morning, just because there's so much going on in the world, it's like I feel like I have to have I call it my own worship session. You find some music, something that inspires you. It could be something that you made up on your own off the top of your head, but something musical, something with sound, something with melody, something with rhythm, something to inspire you to set the momentum for your day. Because I think it's important that we cover ourselves with, the grace of God and the love within before we leave out of the house. And I think sometimes when we're younger it comes naturally, but when we're older it just comes that naturally when we're younger sometimes, and we don't understand it if that's our nature, and it's nothing to understand, it's just natural to us. But then as we get older and we're pulled different ways by society, we kind of we can not practice that as much. But then when as we get even older and things happen, we realize how important it was, and that was something that God gave us naturally, the love and joy of music. And as y'all know, we're not all inclined, but I mean, it's just what you feel, and it's about building your spirit, and it's about worship. It's about worship and summoning, the angels of grace to cover you throughout the day and to remind and set the foundation for where your footsteps should follow in the day. Speaking of footsteps, I haven't read this in a long time, The Armor of God. It's in Ephesians somewhere, Ephesians 6 through 10. The armor of God. I'm reading from the Bible Gateway online, and it's just so important, because you need to pray to ask God to guide your path and your footsteps, because there's a lot of wrong out there, and you yourself are not perfect, because after you've been through some things a lot, it's like, for me, I call it the wanna be cool syndrome. You want to fit in, and you don't want to be the one. If everybody's doing this, you don't want to be the one to mess things up, because you have in the past and you got attacked. And you have to remember who you work for. You work for God. You don't work for anybody else. And it's almost like the 5 monkey experiment, where they put 5 monkeys in a cage. Well, y'all look it up. And basically, it's about how we're conditioned by society to do things that make absolutely no sense. So please be aware in what you're doing. And like I said, when you meditate in the morning, that's bringing about that spirit of awareness. So you're just not doing things because that's what everybody else is doing, or that's what is expected to be done. You're doing it because you're conscious of what you're doing. You're aware, you're being purposeful. And it's so important because, like I said, these days, it's like everybody's in robot stage. Nobody is really, and self included, because I did something very stupid yesterday and I felt absolutely bad, terrible, horrible. And by the time it came to light, I was like, oh my gosh, what do I do? So I had to, I mean, and sometimes situations aren't so forgiving. So please, be aware of what you're doing. Please be aware of what you're doing at all times. Make sure that you're prayed up before you leave the house. Pray, worship, whatever you got to do to set that mood for your life, for the day, for the moment. Just to remind yourself, you need to pray throughout the day. And I think I read somewhere, I'm not religious, that like, oh, this sounds, it's not religious, this is spiritual, this is something that's coming from my heart, because it's not something that's, I'm sure people have written it in books or whatever, but this is where my spirit is coming from. But anyhow, in saying that, now I feel religious. But anyhow, because religion is just when you're practicing something, you're just going, what? You're just practicing something. I don't know how this is happening. Like, I was on the page for the thing for those verses, and all of a sudden it went to something totally different. How it did that, I do not know. I mean, I didn't touch. What the heck? But anyways, let's go back to it. And weird things like that happen to me all the time. Oh my gosh, just like that just happened. See, just weird things happen to me all the time, and sometimes things are gonna happen. We do live in a spiritual world, and when they do happen, you kind of look at it as, okay, you're gonna have these things happen, distractions happen, spiritual distraction, all kind of distractions. So you have to know what it is that you want, and then just, okay, when you see those things happen, okay, and then move right on back to what you were doing. So and again, I was looking up armor of God, and I was reading from Bible, going to read from Bible Gateway. It says Ephesians 6:10 through 18. I like the King James version, so I'm gonna see if I can find it. And I'm so sad they took away the old King James version. It's like the further and further you get, it's taking you further and further away from the genuine word, which has probably been away from it for the longest time. But you can't even find it online, the old King James version. But my general rule of thumb is that if it's something that I see that is helping me spiritually, okay, I'm good with it. Because like I said, you don't know what people put out. People can change things around to make it fit them. And this is Ephesians 6 through 10 from Bible Gateway. This is the King James version. Finally, my brethren, be strong in the Lord, in the power of his might. 6:10 through 18. Put on the whole armor of God. Put on your armor, because it's a war, it's a battlefield out there. It's a spiritual battle, about, for me, is goodness, about maintaining my goodness, maintaining kindness, maintaining honesty. Again, in a world that differs a little bit, where it's not cool to do that, where it's lame to do that. If you're considerate of that, you think too much. But that's not true at all. You're being conscientious, and that's what it is. And you have to do it with joy, because if you do it with sullenness, like sometimes it seems like such a battle and people can see my affliction, then what happens is people think it's wrong because they see the affliction versus the action, so you have to market it. I don't like marketing, but you have to present it better. You have to learn to entail not only the goodness in action, but also in the way that it's manifested in its presence. You have to be able to introduce it with a smile without showing the affliction, even though it's afflicted, because people, you know, if you're doing bad, people think that it's because it's for a reason. You know what I'm saying? And it is for a reason. God put it there because he wants to build you and show you how to smile through the rain. But anyways, finally, my brethren, be strong in the Lord and the power of his might. Put on the whole armor of God, that you may be able to stand up against the wiles of the devil. For we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities, principles, against powers, against rulers of the darkness of this world, against spiritual wickedness in high places. Okay. Wherefore, take unto you the whole armor of God, that you may be able to withstand in the evil day, and having done all, withstand, and then having done all, to stand. Stand therefore, having your loins girt about with truth, and having on the breastplate of righteousness, and your feet shod and your feet shod with the preparation of the gospel of peace. Above y'all all, taking the shield of faith. Am I being dyslexic now? Shield of faith, wherewith ye shall be able to quench all the fiery darts of the wicked. Again, starting with 13. Wherefore take unto you the whole armor of God, that ye may be able to withstand in the evil day, and having done all, to stand. Stand therefore, having your loins girt about with truth. So from your bowels, let truth, let truth let truth be what covers the essence of your being, your loins, and having on the breastplate of righteousness, keeping righteousness in your heart, and your feet shod with the preparation of the gospel of peace. Make sure that every step and every action that you take exudes peace, love. Above all, taking the shield of faith, meaning that, regardless of what happens, you're going to keep doing the right thing, because you know that you work for God, you know what your purpose is, wherewith ye shall be able to quench all the fiery darts of the wicked. So that way you can appease the wicked through your goodness, to let them know that goodness is good. This is the way that I'm interpreting it for me. And take the helmet of salvation. That's that peace that comes from, the cleansing that comes about when you do the right thing, and the sword of the Spirit, spirituality, which is the word of God, praying always with all prayer and supplication in the Spirit, and watching therein too with all perseverance and supplication for all saints. Perseverance. And I'm just going to go over some of my basic tenets for me in my life. Faith. Okay. Patience. Good things take time. Good things take time. Just like when we see these beautiful, huge mountains and things like that come about, it didn't just appear overnight. It took time. It took some erosion of what was there before. It takes some erosion of what was there before. Even, and when it first arose, it looks ugly. It looks like you took a rock, you took it and you wore it down some, and now it's all funny looking. And then eventually it becomes something huge and majestic. Same thing with cold pressure over time. So I'm getting it and I love it. Integrity, purity of intention. Always make sure that you're doing the right thing for the right reason. Always. That's me. Reliability. Okay. And that creates respect, you know. And I'm going to tell you, for a while though, I used to always do everything literally like absolutely perfect. And then I saw that, people were just like, they mock that, like, oh, I always know somebody's gonna do something right now, or this and that, you know. But reliability, consistency. Do it for you. Do it for you. Honesty in thought and action. Amen to that. Honesty in thought and action. Um, I can't see what I have over here. Let me see. Ambition for noble goals. Pressing forward. Ambition. Adaptability to any situation. Resourcefulness. Proper judgment. And using the resources that you're getting from, of course. Fight. Determined effort. You're not going to stop. That's that perseverance that I'm talking about. Oh, Jesus, I hate all these pop-ups. Oh my gosh. It's like, and it's computer pop-ups that asking me to do some online storage. I don't want that stuff. And it probably does it anyway, and you don't know it. But industriousness, this good hard work. Good hard work, putting forth your effort, hard work, and doing all your due diligence in the background. Okay. Hard work and careful planning basically is all it is. Friendship, the wanting to be loved and to love other people and to cooperate and make things better, things work better as a team. It comes from mutual esteem, and that's what I need to work. I don't have mutual esteem. I might like people, I might like things, and I get it back. And then also the opposite is true. Sometimes I really, and most times I guess this is true, because a lot of people do a lot of things, and I need to work on this. I really do. People do a lot of things that I don't like. I don't like, it's a lot of things I don't like. This is what and this works with the patience part too. I don't like dishonesty. I don't like being mean, for the sake of just being mean. I don't like, those are the basic, that's the root of stuff that I don't like. But I have to learn to, just like if I was at work, I would look at it as a challenge. I need to look at it as a challenge. I need to look at it as a challenge and an opportunity to love more. So I'm gonna work on that, but really I don't have time for that. I'm just gonna work on me, and I guess that should be part of me. But it's like when you deal with other people, it slows things down so much, and it also, and sometimes I'm not that aggressive. You know what I'm saying? And sometimes it's just like, for me it goes from, I'm not that aggressive, but it's like when it gets to and I'll be patient and patient and patient, and then when it gets to the point where it's just like, oh my gosh, and I'm just like, look, this is what it is, please. And I don't know, but I'm working on that. That's something that I'm working on. Mutual esteem, respect and devotion. Mutual esteem, respect and devotion. And it requires a joint effort, so, but right now that's on the back burner. I always say there's 5 things that make up a human being: physical, mental, social, financial, and spiritual. And I always say everything else I'm kind of mediocre. As a matter of fact, let me rate myself real quick. I haven't done it. Spiritual, I'll give myself a 7.5, 7 maybe, because I messed up yesterday real bad. Spiritual, 7. I'll give myself a 7.5 with good hopes. Mentally, I give myself a 8. Socially, a big fat 0. And that's sad, a big fat 0, because this is one of the core things that are important to, the total human. I give myself a 0, big fat, and I admit it. I'm honest about it. Socially, I'm a 0. Physically, I'm about a 5 because I'm very fat right now. I'm a 5, but luckily for me, I'm proportionate. But I really do need to exercise and work on my health. Financially, I'm a 1. I barely make it. It's check to check. I'm a 1. I'm a, if that, I'm really a 0.75. So I did mental, social, financial, spiritual, physical, and that's where I stand on everything. So my time is up. There's a lot more that tenets that are about me. Self-control, yes. Alertness, yes. But I'll talk about those in the next one, because I do want to go through all of these, because I think these are very important and they are going to set my path for the day. So I will go through them.